Well, hello there. Welcome to another Friday night. Hope you're all ready for a movie. I don't know why the picture of the Rock is still there. Let's get rid of that. See and hear me. Teds, hi! How are you? It's good to see you here. I checked everything. I made sure that my microphone stand hopefully will not fall over. I've got the microphone on. Why can I not? There we go. There. We'll replace our... I mean, not that the Rock isn't beautiful. I love the Rock. Anyway, thank you for subscribing for 3 months now, Test. I'm not sure that I'm worth 3 months worth of subscriptions, but I am very grateful for it. Thank you so much. Can you guys hear any music? I switched to a different music service. I think I like it a little bit better. It's just taking me some time to get used to the interface. So as always, you will have to let me know if the audio levels are okay. Oh good, I'm glad you can hear the music. Can you hear me? Excellent, I'm glad to hear it. Thank you. So, how have you all been? It's been not quite a week. We were last together Saturday, so. Some of us haven't been here. Abysme is new to the stream. I think this is the first time you've caught my stream. But yes, I have the infamous Zaat all ready to go. Work sucks. I mean, that's why it's called work, right? If it didn't suck, they wouldn't have to pay us to be here. Aww. Abysme's lost his cherry. He's no longer a stream virgin. Hi, Paprika. Aw, I'm glad you're there. Because I've known Abysme for a long time, Teds. He's never been on the stream before, but I've known him for a couple of years now. I mean, really, VIP, the only thing VIP does is it gives the same stuff as subscribers as far as if I was ever to put the stream in slow mode, or if I made a subscribers only room, which I can only dream of the day when I have enough subscribers to do that. I know it's not gonna happen, but something else I was gonna talk about and now I've forgotten. Well, we can dream, that's right. We have to dream. You know what? Let's see how many... Let's make everyone VIPs. Let's see if I can spell names. Yeah, everybody say hi to Paprika. She's here virtually. I mean, it says Abysme on the screen, but Paprika is with us too. And we are happy to have her. I hope that's the right user. Okay. We did that. Let's see. Who else can we make a VIP? Hello. Hello there. Okay, No? It's weird. Sometimes when I go into OBS, it looks like my stream is frozen, but then I look in the dashboard on Twitch and it's fine, so. Yeah. Oh, Cleric needs a diamond. He wanted to gather all the diamonds. I'll give him his own. Or not. We are out of diamonds. Well, hell. I tried. I tried, Cleric. There are no diamonds left for you. We'll just have to... I don't remember what I have to do to get more VIP rolls. Don't be salty. Paprika is a secret. Shh. Don't tell anyone she's watching. And yeah, after the movie, we will either laugh at some 5-minute craft videos, excuse me, or we will go straight into reading our story, which I can't find where I downloaded it, but that's okay. I can just make it up. Screw it. Okay, it's in my downloads bin. Yay! Anyway, the story is In Search of the Unknown by Robert Chambers. Why are you doing this to me? Let's just watch our movie, and I will find the damn book afterwards. Hi, Citaran. How are you doing? It's good to see you back. You have to use the salt soon? I will give you salt. There, I give you your salt back. Well, let's get started on our movie. It is, as I'm sure you all know, Zaat. It is a little over an hour and a half long. Or it is The Amazing Transparent Man. Because I'm so damn prepared. There. Now we have the correct title. I get there eventually. Okay, we will pause the music and start the movie. That is as long as it needs to be. It is. It is as long as it freaking needs to be. Because it's sad. Alrighty, grab that popcorn. Here we go. I hit... Okay, there it goes.
The weed of deceit.
I turned the volume up on the movie, so hopefully it's loud enough.
Fish,
hey, True King Mob, how are you doing?
Of the deep.
It's good to see you here.
What an inspiration you have been in my plot. Your life of hiding, waiting, stalking your prey.
That weed of deceit, huh? Yeah.
Just the right moment. Attack!
Honestly, this narration is awesome. Attack!
I love you.
I love you too. Mwah.
I hope I'll be a good imitator. And my friend, the shark. Cunning, swift, wretched humans.
Yeah, the monologue
They're
is the best
afraid of
part.
you. I admire you. Soon I'll swim with you. They'll be afraid. Oh, mighty scorpion.
I think you were right the
Dangerous
first time,
beast of
Abysme.
the
An
ocean.
intern definitely wrote the
With your
monologue, because
powerful daggers and your camouflage, you have little to fear from other fish.
this is like rantings of a madman.
They think I'm insane. They're the ones who are insane. Oh, my friends of the deep. This day, this very day, I'll become one of you.
He's gonna become a fish. Indeed they did, Cleric. Indeed they did.
My family.
Ma familia!
And together, we'll conquer the universe.
This is your inner monologue every time you go to an aquarium. Yeah. If I ever make it back to the Monterey Bay Aquarium, I have to remember to say this as I go through it. Wade Popwell was the monster. And we walk, and we walk, and we walk, and we walk, and we walk. We walk, and we walk, and walk, and walk. Well, you're lucky to be that close to the aquarium. If I ever make it down there, you better take me to the aquarium. I will talk to all the fishies and embarrass you so much. Oh, I know you would. I know. Poor marine land of Florida. Forever associated with this film. Paprika, we're on our way, okay? I'll bring leftover lasagna.
Sashay, sashay through the sarcasm. Stalking, skulking through the sargassum. A planting revenge on your friends. Planting revenge on
Is that a promise or a threat, Cleric? Yeah, I'm sure they did provide that aquarium footage. Listen, if the wildfires can't kill us, nothing can. It's important, Abysme, that you know he walked a lot. That's why he wants to be a fish. Because fish don't have to walk. This movie probably would be 45 minutes if they cut out all of these walking tabs.
The formula they all laughed at. Z sub A and A sub T. My little gem. Zaat. Very powerful.
Roll credits.
They'll have fish the size they've never seen before. Walking fish. Who like human flesh.
So you want to be a fish, but you still want to walk. That doesn't make sense. Also, Bisme, since you're new here, every movie is a fetish film, and our job is to figure out how many fetishes are in the film. So you and Paprika get on that.
Secure the electrodes to the denticulated portions of the pectoral spine. Tape an extra lead from the cathode.
Weird
to a
underwear
12
fetish.
megon potentiometer
I don't think we've
to a
had that
point
one yet in a movie.
Precisely above the posterior tip of the occipital process. With extreme caution, turn the dial for a current of 10 to the minus 6 milliampheres. If the formula proves correct, the transformation should be perfect, even to the arborescent shape of the accessory breathing organs.
I wonder if the person doing the monologue is actually the
Clarius
actor we're
Petratus,
seeing, or if they
the
did it
walking
post-production.
catfish. Clarius has been equipped by nature to swim in water or walk on land. Clarius reproduce very rapidly and spawn through much of the year. Clarius is viciously aggressive, and its continued spread poses a threat to the freshwater ecology of a wide area. Forward progress is made with a snake-like sliver and a vigorous thrashing of the tail.
So it's just a weird
Disc-like
catfish.
barbells, equipped with taste buds, brush along the bottom in search of food. The largest Clarius so far collected in Florida is 18 inches.
I mean, Wikipedia is
We're going
a...
to do
Actually,
something
Wikipedia didn't
about
exist,
your
so...
size.
I'm curious as to
You
where they
can't
got
battle
that
people
information
being
from
just
other than
2
making it
feet
up.
long. You must be tired. So am I. It's been a long 20 years.
What do you think? Would this movie be better if
But
the internet had
today,
existed
a
when it was
new
made?
life will start
And they
for
could have
me.
actually researched things?
Oh, but you know that. Your freshwater friends will be the first to experience that.
I'm only willing to
Well,
blame
I
Marine Land
grew
of Florida
rather
for so
rapidly.
much.
Mutate, then attack. One final check to see that there's been no change in your acidity.
That is very true. The fish furries and the other kin. I think he just poured orange juice in the tank. I'm sorry there's been no change in your acidity. Hopefully it will change before the movie is done. Now we're gonna spin the Wheel of Fortune. Or we'll just draw a line on it.
It won't
Vitamin C is
long
required
now.
for water breathing.
Very
Thank you,
soon,
Paprika.
The whole world will know about us and respect us.
They will never respect you. I think the entire budget went into that wheel. Yeah, fish definitely deserve to have a good breakfast of orange juice. This looks like the utility, like the maintenance room in a school or something. Complete with file folders on the shelves. So half the budget went into the costume and half the budget went into the wheel. Yes, he's gonna get rejected by his fish waifu, I'm pretty sure. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Getting them sexy times. Taking off the shirt. Gonna seduce the fishies. Dear God, that's a long needle. I mean, that needle would go completely through your arm. So we've also got a needle fetish going on. Yep, a fish anthropomorph. He's walked so much that now he's just shuffling. That's a pretty pink. Now we'll dial up our rotary phone. This is very true. Only Florida would have a catfish monster. I swear that thing there with the lights around it looks like something I've seen at a carnival. Okay, is it just me or is there something hanging on his ass in the shorts? He'd already started growing his fishtail before he even started this. If it's a case of he's happy, Cleric, he's very happy to see the pool. Random blood is random. I'm not gonna lie, I would like a water hammock that I could just lay in and then float in the pool. In theory, that's kind of a cool idea. Like, this setup sucks. Like, I want to know how many times he fell out of the basket or went in heads first. This is definitely not a good ride at the fair. I swear to God, that's a carnival game. It doesn't need a reason. It is Zaat. It's all the reason there needs to be. So the weird underwear must have been because he had part of the... Well, no, it's a different actor playing the monster. So the weird underwear isn't about the costume change. It's just weird underwear.
Nothing at all like the catfish. But it's beautiful.
Yep, best costume ever. Now back to the wheel. I mean, they could at least give us a good view of the wheel and try to explain some of what's on it. I mean, geez.
And now, another big challenge for you.
Operating a fire extinguisher with those weird fish hands. And we walking and we walking and we walking and we walking, and I think this movie would be like 30 minutes if they cut out all of the scenes of just walking. And now snakes. Oh, sorry, it's not a fire extinguisher, it's just a spray bottle. My bad. I guess they ran out of budget money to make a better prop for that. You know what Florida Man needs to be? It needs to be a new icon character for a creepypasta. Run, frogs, run! The PCP Foundation? You sure it's not the LSD Foundation? Pretty sure all the drugs had a hand in this movie. That's true. That's true. So it would be the PCP, maybe crack, not crack, bath salts. There's definitely some bad drugs involved when this was made. Meanwhile, back in the swamp.
Biggest bunch of foolishness I ever seen. We had walking catfish around here a long time.
Well, you're the one who reported it, Chair.
Yeah, I know. Folks been bugging the hell out of me. But I didn't want to make no federal case out of this thing.
Not federal, just state, remember?
Yeah. The state of Florida against a little walking catfish. Some case.
Just doing my job, Sheriff.
Hang on to that spray bottle for dear life. You don't want to drop it. I'm not sure if this... I got this from the Turner Classic Movies, so God, I hope it doesn't, but I'm not sure. He does, and they sing through the town. That's probably the best thing the sheriff ever did. They get to have like a musical number. And we walk, and we walk, and we walk, and we walk, and we walk. And we're back to the wheel.
Matson, your days are numbered.
Now listen to me carefully.
That musical number is the best part of the
Your theory
movie.
is too unrealistic.
I know the
I'll have to
dialogue is
insist
awesome,
you
but
cease all further experiments.
that musical number. Kill the balding man is a common theme in these movies, Abysme. We found that. All the fetish films, there's a balding man that has to be killed. Next time, put bullets in it.
Don't you have anything better to do? Like playing checkers or arresting bootleggers?
Nope. And I ain't going nowhere near that office. There's too many folks bitching. Fish walking through the yards and going into the houses and garages. But I told them you had all the answers, boy.
Well, at least I'm trying.
Yeah, well, I ain't seen that college education of yours do much good so far.
Walking fish wasn't part of the curriculum. They didn't teach us.
I
how to
mean,
be
from
kind
the
to
sound of
sheriff's
it,
eyes, but I'm trying.
You
seems
better
like
be,
it's a
boy.
toy gun. But yeah, no. I would hope that a sheriff would know enough about his
I
firearm
thought
not
you
to
said
dry
that was a
fire it
fish
like
water
that.
spray.
Yeah, I did. Why? Something matter?
There sure is. There's an extremely high content of radioactive material.
Yeah, well, what does that mean?
In your language, pollution.
Means 3 Mile Island was worse than we thought. See, I get it. The radiation turned him into a fish version of Spider-Man. It all makes sense now. Instead of being bitten by a spider, he irradiated himself in a fish. Yeah, just stare at the girl. And now we swimmin', and we swimmin', and we swimmin'. Yeah, someone at some point took the time to pay attention to what the hell they were doing. Exactly. Swimming is just walking underwater. And now we'll have some random footage because we need to kill time. I mean, if you did the work to make it, you may as well put it on your resume. I would put it on my resume. Just have Zaat tattooed on your arm. Oh, so God, that music. Best death scene ever.
Damn, man, look at that. What do you make of it?
This is a little out of my line, you know. But that looks like a claw mark.
No, couldn't be. How about a fish bite?
No, I don't think so. Look at the size of these marks.
Yeah, but we drug him out of the middle of the lake, you know.
I'm not sure. Let me get a flash of it, then I'll take a sampling of the tissue.
Ewing, enjoy the earth while you can.
I can authorize you to purchase another supply of mice and rats, but a human guinea pig?
We
That's
don't
a
have the
request
budget
I
to buy
must turn
that.
down.
You underestimated me. 25 long years of frustration and defeat. It was worth every minute. Now I know it will work.
I'll see you, Red, huh?
Sheriff, Dr. Pagato said that Mrs. Matson mentioned the word monster.
The woman's in shock.
Oh, wait a minute, Sheriff. I have another question.
How would you
I
count
know,
two
it's
marks with a dead
sad.
man's
They didn't
body?
even spell it
I'd say
right.
they were fish bites.
You
You
just
see any
noticed the
connection
black trash
between this
bags,
monster
yeah.
and the rash of virus cases here in the hospital? Could the water supply be contaminated?
Hell, man, I ain't no scientist. It's probably a bug going around.
It has another hour because Zaat.
Nets are no longer for fish. We may use them on you humans, if any survive.
Well, that was kind of stupid. Tore up the net and then just left. You could
No,
have
it wasn't a
pulled him in
skin
and taken him then.
Flashlight, gray, green, and color. Well, this place is about to get to me. Sheriff Krantz is getting more calls day by day about the damage that's being done by these walking fish.
It sounds like a new series on A&E.
Well, frankly, Chief, I'm
The
sorry.
Walking Fish.
I've caught some oversized fish.
None of them walked.
Yes, they mutate. But then three things popped up out of order. A high ratio of pollution in a clear spring. Next, claw marks on the man who drowned. And then a thing I saw with my own eyes tearing up my net. How do you spell that?
You think that would be a Bravo? Yeah.
I-N-P-I-T. In-pit? What are they?
I went out with a net to catch a fish, and now I wish I hadn't. There's your new no sleep title.
Investigations team.
Uh-oh. There's a girl. We gotta be a stalker fish again. Okay, Claret, go prep your soup. We'll still probably be here. I'm still watching Zaat walk. That was terrible. Yeah, that VW is nice.
You won't be needing that. Dugan? That's right. I suppose you know why I'm here. Seems clear enough. Before I do the job, though.
Do people really have fireplaces in Florida? Does it get cold enough to want a fireplace in Florida?
Were you in those woods this morning? You'll never know, will you? I guess I'll never know.
Now we tiptoeing. I mean, who doesn't fish in the living room, you know? You gotta fish somewhere. May as well fish in the living room. Maybe you can catch the remote control to the TV. Let's see if this death is as good as the other one. Also, I swear that the head on that looks like a green version of Alf. In Pit. There's a good company name. You see, it is Alf. It's a green version of Alf. So that means the creators of Alf watched this movie.
Don't panic.
And decided to
Keep
make
your
an
door
alien
locked
out of
and
the
call me
fish
if
man.
anything happens. Okay, right. Goodbye.
Some sheriff, yellow-bellied, and a damn nigger lover to boot.
Well, I'm keeping my kids home from school, I'll tell you that.
Well, I guess we know this is the version with the racist moment.
Shirley, we'd like to see Luke.
Who? Yeah, send them in right away. No, Shirley, I don't want to talk to any more of them. Now, you tell them to go home, board up the place, Stay off the street and off my back. No, don't tell them that. Just tell them to go.
Sheriff, these are the two impet agents that I told you about. Martha Walsh, Walker Stevens.
The two impet agents.
You take a look at those marks.
Lou, they're identical to the ones in the first victim.
God. Man, what are they?
What do you think, Walker?
On the surface, it looks like an animal, like a cat or an ape. But this man was badly stung or burned by some chemical.
So?
So, it could be from the fish family.
Now look here, mister. You trying to tell me that these walking fish are
She is
strong
modeling
enough
for
now
the
to
camera
kill
puppy
somebody?
fight.
'Cause if you are,
I'm pretty sure
I'm
she was
taking a
hired
long
just to be a
walk
pretty
right
face.
through that door.
Now, just hold on a minute, Lou. Walker has to look at all possibilities. Now, he's come up with an idea I think makes a lot of sense.
An ape-cat hybrid would certainly be interesting. Look, fish got needs too. She's in his water, he gonna fuck her. Also, dear God, this music. That had to have been so difficult to do in that suit. Swim and grab a chick and swim with her. It is a nice RV though. Now we're back to the bondage. Yeah, the music in this is horrible. I mean, the movie itself is horrible, but the music definitely does not help it. See, those are not walking catfish. Those are just catfish that are gonna die because they're on a lawn. Now we draw her picture.
KMB 322, KMB 322. This is Input Mobile 7 calling KMB 322. Over.
KMB 322, we're reading you at Input Mobile 7. Over.
Request the following information. Radioactive data on Florida freshwater sources. Results of salinity imbalance tests. And the computer readout on the history of marine mutations. Over.
I've received your Input Mobile 7. A request for information. A Radioactive data, Florida, United States, freshwater sources. Result of salinity imbalance. History of marine mutation computer readout. Over.
Charlie, you have received my message correctly. KMB 322. Mobile 7, clear.
KMB 322 clear.
Rex, secure that right there.
Right.
I think it is Dr. Strangelove on the other side of the radio.
Walker? That report from headquarters came in.
What'd they
I was
say?
thinking the same thing. It's like, damn.
Several theories on
I
this.
didn't realize this was...
One is that the walking catfish came
I don't
over
know.
in ships.
I wasn't expecting that, but...
From South Africa. Some
Maybe
15
that's the
years
only
ago.
guy they could get to play the
The
role.
other is that a radioactive material from a nearby lab may have caused a chemical reaction in the water.
There's a strange pollutant in these waters, that's for sure, because I found it. I suppose a mutating fish could come over on a boat from Africa. Do you have any further comments on the enlarged aspects?
No, nothing.
Them large-ass specs.
Why would he suddenly turn killer?
If she's not awake yet, I'll walk around the lab some more, because I haven't done enough walking yet. Gotta make sure I get my 8,000 steps in. She stopped screaming pretty quickly. That is absolutely true. Titties will get people to watch any movie, even this one. I mean, she did have a little smile on her face when she turned her head to the side like she passed out, so yeah. Who wouldn't want that hunk of man-fish meat? It's just the latest of many fetishes in this film. Oh, now you start screaming again? Fuck you, bitch. You're going head first. There we got the fire drill. Oh, there's a dead stare again. Class is dismissed. Everybody leave. I too get pissed when I can't get the alarm to go off, so I understand that. Well, damn it, now I gotta go stalk someone else and draw a new picture. Meanwhile, the little octopus is just like, just watching, man. I just watching your failures. Yep, March Madness. March Madness will never have the same meaning.
Yeah, what if that fancy thing doesn't work?
And God, these scene switches.
You said it, but I mean, do you think we ought to just go try and just check it?
No, it's all right. It'll work. You know, if something happens. But I don't really think anything's going to happen.
I'm not really worried about that. I just hope this creature isn't a redneck.
I'm gonna go ahead and turn in, okay?
I'm already turned in.
I'm going to stay up a while and keep an eye on the detector. That's what we've been waiting for. Come on, Rex.
They've been waiting for a high-pitched shell. I didn't even realize it was a scientist. I thought we'd finally gotten to the hippies. Zaat really hates that net. That's right, done caught me a Zaat.
You all right? Go down there and see if he went through the net.
Oh, see him down here?
Yeah, Zaat couldn't kill him in one hit. And it's very important that you take lots of flash photographs of him.
I'm gonna make a statement up here, huh? Okay?
Sheriff, can you hear you a statement on the evacuation?
No, look, just listen to me while I'm up here. I gotta keep it. Trouble, right? I don't know where he is. I don't know exactly the whole.
I want there to be lots of photographic evidence of me getting my ass beat.
You got a ride? Okay, all right, everything all right. Shorty, you're gonna be able to make it in that rig or not? All right, now there won't no breakdowns on the road, you hear me? Miss Miller, you ain't gonna make it, honey. Then you get a truck or somebody take your bicycle, you hear me? Cause I can't have nobody having a heart attack nothing on the road. We're all going over to Fort Dunn and the gymnasium. Now the Red Cross is going to have blankets and food and everything you need. Now those that can't go, I want you to go home and lock up and you keep them guns handy, you hear me? Now come on. Honey, get to your cars, let's go now. Everybody get on in there. Everybody take care of your own youngins and your own family.
Kill it!
Red Cross is going to furnish food and everything. Yeah, and those that can't
Turn
make
it down, please.
you go home, lock up, and you keep them guns.
Are those looking better?
Take a look at these.
Even photographs ugly.
See these spines just above the wrist? You can kill with those.
Run the case of Mrs. Madsen. He can leave a victim in a state of suspended animation.
To think I let you two nuts go out there and sit like guinea pigs.
Well, Mother, you just weren't doing your job.
Speaking of jobs,
Oh,
Here's your big chance, Martha.
first time.
now be careful.
Let's face it, Walker, you need toughen up.
Do you know what I really need?
God, the acting in this movie.
Yes.
To fuck you.
All the information InPit can give you on that government lab down at Cypress Grove. As soon as possible.
Whatever turns you on.
Walker, do you really think the lab's the key?
At this point, Rex, where else do we look?
And now we'll walk and run into walls. Zaat got drunk.
I will cause underwater life to triumph over all other living creatures. I will adapt myself to a permanent
It sucks when the PCP wears off.
All other humans will be conquered. I cannot, I will not be stopped.
Meanwhile, that octopus is totally judging him.
To mate with utmost care, and together we will create a new aquatic race. But there is no time left.
Our catfish overlords will surely be better than our current leadership. I didn't remember it, so thank goodness they repeated it. That's part of his magic powers.
The lab closed down after the war.
Once he draws them, they are his.
Then an old doctor named Leopold. He used to work out there. He bought it from the government. Well, he hung around for a while, but then he just wasn't around anymore. I guess he's like the fella that had a pipe dream and suddenly woke up and said, "Who needs $1 million sea land?"
Hey, I have some hot news from InPit. They say that lab was active during World War II, conducting secret experiments with heavy water. Now listen to this. InPit just dug this bit up for us. In a top secret report, it's noted that a material used for the experiments was radioactive.
That's possible.
It caused mutations.
Or what if
in
Zaat
sea
did
life.
die, but he did manage to breed and have a child?
And now for the clincher.
And that child draws
3
fish-centric
canisters of this
hentai.
material was stolen and never recovered.
See if you can get a full report on those canisters, and with pictures if possible.
Do you think the monster's a catfish?
Maybe, but I'd say definitely.
No, it's a fish cat.
A mutated sea creature of some kind, but with intelligence.
That will always live in our hearts.
I think
That's right,
it's more than
Debbie.
a coincidence. His two victims were supervisors at the lab during the war. You know, this creature fought with more than arms and legs. I'm convinced it has a brain at work. Sheriff, do you know a Rainey Johnson and a Roger Whitley?
Yeah, but what do they got to do with it?
I want you to alert them and tell them to be cautious, because headquarters says they worked at that lab.
Hey, Cleric, welcome back. How goes your soup prep? And did you get enough of your salt back? Because I can give you more. Zaat ain't doing so well. Don't fall, dude. Butternut squash is so good. That water there is a little shallow for you, Zaat. Yeah, Zaat needs to go home. Sleep it off. Go home, Zaat. You're drunk. What did you miss? I'm not sure. But you're back in time. You haven't missed the hippies singing yet.
The pain.
I think walking is the central theme of this movie. Zaat is about walking. You get your daily steps in, damn it. Damn, all the shops are closed. Can't believe it. This cardboard box would be a good home. So we'll just call them 2 a.m. soups. No condoms in fishman size. Bottoms up. There's that high we needed.
Sheriff?
It's all quiet on the west side.
It's quiet here, too. I only had one call. With a washburn. Said some of them walking fish been tromping through a yard again. Nearly drove a dog nuts. But I told her to just get some of them old boys working on the place next to hers to put up a fence around her property. No, I don't think she'll be bothered by them anymore. Over.
Just ask your neighbors that are trying to take care of themselves to come whip up a fence in the middle of the night around your property. Be no problem.
You stray away from the house, Nun. Call me at the hospital if you need me.
Okay, Mom. You be careful, too.
I'll take good care of Miss Pringle.
I'm sure you will.
I thought everybody was supposed to leave the town, and those that weren't leaving the town were supposed to stay at home. Zaat is very specious.
Henry, are you scared?
Nah, I don't believe in all that stuff. Why'd any monster want to come to this town anyway? Come on.
Drunken Zaat is still drunk. That was an awful lot of blood on the wall. So Zaat is now a vampire and sucks the blood off of his dead victims.
Hey, Dale.
Go ahead, Sheriff. Over.
I think I just heard a scream over near Community Hall. I'm gonna go take a look.
10-4.
Oh good, we're finally getting to the good part. And then that was my question too, Paprika. What the hell is he doing?
All my life, well, people told me I should follow. So I followed him and then I followed you. Yeah, when I got done with that following, oh, knew just what I had to do. I knew just what I had to do. Well, Jesus gathered his disciples. Yeah, turned to him and then they turned to you. Yeah,
She's totally not stoned.
that turning, yeah, they knew just what they had to do. They knew just what they had to do.
Zaat's only weakness is the hippie murder cults.
Well, you think you're a hungry child, but you found out what it does make you free. Dirt and hide, feet inside, so you go back to the land another judgment day.
The cult of the catfish, killing in the name of Zaat.
People told me I should follow. So I followed him and then I followed you. Yeah, when I got done with that following, oh, knew just what I had to do. I knew just what I had to do. Well, Jesus gathered his disciples. Yeah, turned to him and then they turned to you. Yeah, when they got done with that turning, yeah, they knew just what they had to do. They knew just what they had to do. Well, you think you're a hungry child, but you found out what it was.
The best you could do for your sheriff's office logo was a child's art project. The sheriff. Come on, all you hippies, get in the jail cells.
Now, you kids will be safe in here tonight, huh? Yeah, you take good care of them, huh?
Yes, sir.
All my life.
Rex, in the morning we'll have Lou take us over to the lab.
Sounds good. I think I'll turn in while it's still quiet. See you in the morning.
Okay, pal. Good night.
Night, Rex. Okay, patient. Time for you to bed down. Don't get your
This is first-class service.
Of course.
Don't I get a good night kiss?
Anything to help the patient's morale.
Anything?
Yep, titties. Gotta have the titties to keep people interested in the movie, because God knows the plot isn't. Oh, Zaat's gonna be upset.
You're recovering nicely.
Nobody kisses Zaat's mate. Hey, Albo. How are you doing? Only getting sound out of one side of your headphones. Huh. Oh, that's right. I forgot. I only have one earphone in, so I didn't... Yeah, it's not a stereo movie.
Sheriff, this is the most sensational story I've ever covered. Well, a vampire rape, that's what it was, wasn't it, Sheriff?
Dale, I'll meet you down at Mayhew's drugstore,
Did you
huh?
just say a
Tell me,
vampire
Sheriff, you
ape?
plan on calling out the National Guard. How else do you expect to catch this monster?
You know something, boy? It's a wonder if somebody hadn't stepped on you and smashed you flat. Now, if you keep bugging me, I just might take a notion to. Damn. As if we ain't got enough trouble around here.
They're the same wide tracks. Web-footed. And
I'm
those
glad
are
you're
human
able to get it
fingerprints
fixed.
either. But why would a monster need drugs?
Listen.
For the same reason he became a vampire last night. To satisfy some physical need or urge.
Monsters got needs too.
With human
And cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Don't you think that's pretty far-fetched?
Yeah,
No,
I
Rex.
yawned. I'm sorry.
convinced he has intelligence, and maybe that of a human being. Now we can
Oh,
follow
I'm
these
sorry you're not
tracks. I don't
feeling
think
good,
it's too far
Albo.
away. Come on, let's go.
Hush, Bisme. Logic has no place here. hope you feel better, Albo. Why would they have read the script? That would make no sense.
He's gone that direction.
He went that way.
Must have killed that boy right after he left here.
Yeah, let's get going.
There you go. We need to find that one. I hear Zaat says the fuck word is a very hard movie to find. Uh-oh, we got some more titties. Well, now the shit glows in the dark. You did a dumb? Did you ruin your dinner, or did you just think barbecue potato chips was a good dinner? Because I know you said you did have chicken tendies, but apparently they did not end well. Oh, one whole barbecued potato. Okay.
Now it's getting stronger.
Yeeted the food because you left them out. Oh. I'm sorry.
Come on, he's gone this way.
They were just closer to being cooked, that's all. I'm sure they were fine. They were just a step closer to being baked.
Lab purchased on auction by Kurt Johansson.
Unless they were already baked when you left them out, in which case. Well, then of course they were warm. They were supposed to be warm. They were cooked. Duh.
1945. Biography incomplete, but Leopold graduated cum laude MIT 1934, doctorate on radioactive effects of marine mutations. Reportedly discovered two new elements, Z sub A, Zeta sub alpha, and A sub T, alpha sub theta. When combined, the two elements were supposedly highly stable and would...
I'm giving you a hard time, Cleric. I understand why you threw the chicken tendies out, and I'm sorry. I wish I could have shared my lasagna with you.
Classified medical reports indicate Leopold mentally unstable with paranoid tendencies, dismissed after repeated requests for human guinea pigs to test theories. Told psychiatrists at his dismissal hearings that he would create an underwater race that would rule the world.
Well, you need to eat something besides a potato.
What's the matter, Lou?
A human fish. Sounds like something old Doc Leopold might try. He was known as a nut. Folks laughed at him.
A who
He
fish?
was once trying to get volunteers off death row in prison.
Hikari Faith, hi. How are you? It's good to see you here.
There's a rumor going around that he was trying to...
To what?
To make a who fish.
Fish.
Damn, Lou, why didn't you tell us sooner?
Well, I never thought of it till just this second.
It's kind of hard to bring up in conversation. Mike's I made pizza waffles. Corn smut soup.
Rex, make a note of this. Looks like after each of these places, he heads in an easterly direction. Do you think he's
I mean,
headed
pizza
toward
waffle sounds good. Corn smut soup.
Could be.
Now, if he's a fish, how long can he stay out of water?
Sounds like a dish we would order off of
I
Pornhub.
think he's headed toward water right now. Let's go.
The soup was disgusting, I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was, because that sounds bad. Hot marshmallow sausages, ew. I still remember when he tried to make egg sausages. Oh, we got the shower scene. It's another chance for titties, boys. Are we driving? Are we driving? Are we driving? Yeah, the movie's definitely got voyeurism in it.
Wait. Hold it.
Yeah, we typing and typing and typing.
Meet me up the road.
Meet me at the road. Which road? You just ran off of a road. Come on, scream. Isn't that the same scream as the other woman? I just scream and throw all my trinkets at you. Yeah, it's just one scream.
Sheriff, his tracks lead into the water right here. He had to walk out on the other side because this lake isn't connected to the Orange Sink grid.
So we scout the perimeter.
Right. I'll meet you both around on the other side.
Well, on the plus side, we've only got 19 minutes left of this movie. You want a supercut of people walking in this? I don't have Adobe Premiere anymore, so I can't make you a supercut of people walking in this. I'm sorry.
Come on, let's go.
Martha's gone.
Martha?
Be careful now, you may still be here.
We know he's been there because Martha and her titties are gone.
One of us should have had enough sense to have stayed here with her. Sheriff, as of now, we're all going to forget about trying to capture this thing. I want you to take Rex to that lab on the double. And Rex, see what you can find out there. Right. I'm going tracking.
We do. We could make such a good sequel. Now we running and we running. And we started a vehicle, but we're not gonna get in it. Yep, Zaat 2 does need to be a thing. Especially if it could come out in 2021 for the anniversary. We are running from Zaat, a man who turned himself into a fish. We're pretty sure all the drugs were involved in the writing of it. Dipshit, you're stuck. Get out. Get out of the thing and walk. All the drugs, Hikari, they faith. At the very least, cocaine, PCP, and LSD. Zaat 2, this time with bath salts. Yeah, this movie's walking. Apparently the snakes do Zaat's bidding now.
Looks like a generator.
Well, thank God we got that important detail. Meanwhile, we's walking. And possibly lost. No, I'm gonna go this way. And walk and walk and walk and walk and... Meanwhile, our hero shall suck the venom out of his own wound. Right, that suit riot is very good. Hey, Tedst. How dare you hang out with your family? Jeez. You never have to apologize for leaving to do things, Tedst. It's fine. I understand. We all have shit to do. I wonder which of the Godzilla monsters would be best up against that.
There. What do you make of this?
I don't know. I've never seen anything like this before.
Zatterbation. You did. You're lucky. You missed a lot of walking and reused screaming. That's pretty much it. Oh, and also hippies sang a song walking through the town. Come on, damn it, get on your feet. This is Zaat. We don't crawl, we walk.
Wow, man.
Yes, the music in this... Ugh. I mean, the movie sucks, but the music definitely makes it worse.
There's Ewing and Matson.
These must be his victims. Lou, this looks like a sketch of Martha.
Martha, a victim, but why?
Damned if I know. Human experimentation.
Maybe the Florida Tourism Board was trying to keep people away from Florida.
And call Walker, tell him to get over here quick.
Because I can't see how they could possibly have thought that this would increase tourism. Zatterbation is a good title. Now we walk in quickly. Did you do an episode on Zaat already for Trick or Track at Bisbee? Post a link to your podcast, dude. Yeah, we staggering. Come on, Zaat. Earlier you could have killed him with just one blow. Yeah, you guys should listen to Abysme's podcast. He talks about music in movies and films. And he's funny. You would like him. No, I mean, we saw him dry shooting the gun earlier, so he has a gun, but bullets we're not sure of. In depth on Mandy. I haven't seen Mandy.
it. Mixed according to the right formula, with the correct proportion.
I'm not sure if this is third try as a charm or if this is the fourth woman he's tried.
All sea life.
And there's that canned scream. I've heard it's a good movie. Okay, let's see if he can get her in without her going head first. Because he cannot control that basket. Uh-oh. You have angered Zaat. Remember when Zaat was remembering when he killed the first victim? Maybe the scream was just in his head. Yeah, the serum, I think the serum was glowing in the dark. The last time he showed it, which was... But I don't think he used it on anyone. Look, anything that glows is automatically better. Oh no, the net. This is confusing even to those of us who have sat here for the last hour and 30 minutes. The movie makes no sense. You're sad we're not getting Del Toro's Mountains of Madness. Yeah, the music... It's like whoever did the music got really, really pissed off at someone on the film and decided to make it as horrible as possible. Like, you cannot get it this bad accidentally. Zaat is not afraid of you and your puny gun. Zaat laughs at you and your bad aim. She is definitely stoned. Meanwhile, Zaat says, fuck you and your bullets. Fatal Maxwell, thank you for the biddies. I have no idea what you came in the middle of, because we don't either. It's a horrible movie. But welcome to the stream. You're supposed to walk. This movie's about walking.
Martha? Martha? Is that you, Martha? Thank God you're alive, Martha.
Thank you for the biddies again. This honestly makes me want to start drinking. Yeah. Yeah, this movie makes no sense. Bye, Martha. Keep going, Martha. Wuss? Why'd you stop walking then? Yeah.
Tonight.
Well, that was that. We watched it. I'm glad you were able to join us for it. Abysme and Paprika. That was a movie. Never changed, that's right. So, that was our movie. I think we need to now brainstorm on the title to the sequel. Ooh, here's an idea. Because I know there's some writers out there in my audience. It was so... The fuck is Zaat and what was he carrying? Zaat was a crazy man who tried to turn himself into a fish. What he was carrying, I have no idea. Comfy looking fire. Yeah, I like this fire. This is my favorite thing to put up. I use it when I'm reading or talking. I think it's nice and relaxing. I mean, as far as what Zaat was carrying, I think it was just flotation devices. He's carrying the serum to infect the oceans and turn fish into fish monsters. I call bullshit. It was just inflation devices. It was a hot dog. It was a hot dog because he knew that Martha would come after it, because Martha loves them hot dogs. Yep, to turn fish into fish. Okay, so guys, here is your challenge. Write a sequel to Zaat as a story, and I will read it on a stream. Because Zaat definitely needs a sequel. That's right, we live in the world where Zaat won. Yeah. Zaat turned all the fish into fish. It's very sad. Also, if any of you are interested, I do have a Discord just for this Twitch streaming stuff. We live in a society. So yeah, Zaat too could be about Martha. Martha and the hot dog. No, it's funny because I've seen the, Oh, good night, Abysme. Good night, Paprika. You guys have a good evening. Thanks for stopping in and joining us. Hope you can join us again. Yes, only found on Pornhub, that's right. It will only be on Pornhub. So that was a movie. This, I think, is one of the worst we have watched. And Ted, seriously, the movie would have made absolutely no more sense had you seen the entire movie. It was so disjointed. There were hippies singing, though. You couldn't find Zaat porn on Pornhub? Well, then, obviously there's a niche we all need to fill. Come on, let's get working on that. We need to write some Zaat porn. Does that mean that Rule 34 is a lie? Yeah, meat, baby. You would know that there's Zaat R34, Cleric. You would know. So yeah, I think the music definitely made Zaat worse. Teds, get off of Pornhub. I will not have you corrupted. Pornhub, you can sponsor my stream. So now that we had that monstrosity that has zapped our souls horribly, are we ready for some more story? As we ended with his Pornhub, sponsor these nuts. Story. Okay, I'll try to do at least 5 more chapters of our story. Let me pull up the link. Oh, that's right. We established that I was an idiot. Open. Stupid thing. Come on. Come on. I don't understand how you could open last week and not open this week. Okay, so I've told it to allow the extension to change and read. You've already got whatever permissions you think you need. Open my damn file. I will get there. Don't worry. We will have our story. We'll have our story time. For those of you who don't know, the story is In Search of the Unknown by Robert Chambers. There you are. Please open. God, why? No. Over here. see if this works. Yes. So what? Okay, it is just going to be a pain in the ass. So read online it is. So we left off with we finished chapter 5. It was in Roman numerals, so it took me a while to figure that out, but I got there eventually. So now we will be beginning with chapter 6, and there are 25 chapters total. You didn't watch Twin Peaks? You mean the new Twin Peaks? Is that still going on? Okay, you go make your soup, cleric. Thanks for hanging out with us. All right, we've got our fire going. Let's settle in and have a nice bedtime story. Oh, the original series? I like the original series. I can't remember Fire Walk with Me. Like, I vaguely remember it, but I don't remember much about it. But the original Twin Peaks, I enjoyed it. I thought it was... I'm not gonna say it was great, but it was entertaining and it was enjoyable. Here we go. You're a Lynch guy. I mean, it's not... Like I said, the series, I don't think was as bad as some of the critics have complained about. It's like it's a TV show. For its time, it was pretty good. Alright, here we go. Chapter 6 of Search for the Unknown. Or In Search of the Unknown. Before I proceed any further, common decency requires me to reassure my readers concerning my intentions, which, heaven knows, are far from flippant. To separate fact from fancy has always been difficult for me, but now that I have had the honor to be chosen secretary of the Zoological Gardens in Bronx Park, I realize keenly that unless I give up writing fiction, nobody will believe what I write about science. Therefore, it is to a serious and unimaginative public that I shall hereafter address myself, and I do it in the modest confidence that I shall neither be distrusted nor doubted, although unfortunately I still write in that irrational style which suggests covert frivolity, and for which I am undergoing a course of treatment in English literature at Columbia College. Now, having promised to avoid originality and confine myself to facts, I should tell what I have to tell concerning the ding, the mammoth, and something else. For some weeks it had been rumored that Professor Farragut, president of the Bronx Park Zoological Society, would resign to accept an enormous salary as manager of Barnum and Bailey Circus. He was now with the circus in London and had promised to cable his decision before the day was over. I hoped he would decide to remain with us. I was his secretary and particular favorite, and I viewed without enthusiasm the advent of a new president, who might shake us all out of our congenial and carefully excavated ruts. However, it was plain that the trustees of the society expected the resignation of Professor Farragut, for they had been in secret session all day, considering the names of possible candidates to fill Professor Farragut's large, old-fashioned shoes. These preparations worried me, for I could scarcely expect another chief as kind and considerate as Professor Leonidas Farragut. That afternoon in June, I left my office in the administration building in Bronx Park and strolled out under the trees for a breath of air. But the heat of the sun soon drove me to seek shelter under a little square arbor, a shady retreat covered with purple wisteria and honeysuckle. As I entered the arbor, I noticed that there were 3 other people seated there. An elderly lady with masculine features and short hair, a younger lady sitting beside her, and, further away, a rough-looking young man reading a book. For a moment I had an indistinct impression of having met the elderly lady somewhere, and under circumstances not entirely agreeable. But beyond a stony and indifferent glance, she paid no attention to me. As for the younger lady, she did not look at me at all. She was very young, with pretty eyes, a mass of silky brown hair, and a skin as fresh as a rose which had been rained on. Although that delicacy peculiar to lonely scientific bachelors, I modestly sat down beside the rough young man, although there was more room beside the younger lady. Some lazy loafer reading a penny dreadful, I thought, glancing at him, then at the title of his book. Hearing me beside him, he turned around and blinked over his shabby shoulder, and the movement uncovered the page he had been silently conning. The volume in his hands was Darwin's famous monograph on the monodactyl. He noticed the astonishment on my face and smiled uneasily, shifting the short clay pipe in his mouth. "I guess," he observed, "that this here book is too much for me, mister." "It's rather technical," I replied, smiling. "Yes," he said in vague admiration. "It's fierce, ain't it?" After a silence, I asked him if he would tell me why he had chosen Darwin as a literary pastime. "Well," he said placidly, "I was trying to read about animals, but I'm up against a word slinger this time, all right. Now here's a gum twister." And he painfully spelled out MONODACTYL, breathing hard all the while. "Monodactyl," I said, "means a single-toed creature." He turned the page with alacrity. "Is that the beast he's talking about?" he asked. The illustration he pointed out was a woodcut representing Darwin's reconstruction of the ding from the fossil bones in the British Museum. It was a well-executed woodcut, showing a ding in the foreground and, to give scale, a mammoth in the middle distance. "Yes," I replied, "that is the ding." "I've seen one," he observed calmly. I smiled and explained that the ding had been extinct for some thousands of years. "Oh, I guess not," he replied with cool optimism. Then he placed a grimy forefinger on the mammoth. "I've seen them things too," he remarked. Again, I patiently pointed out his error and suggested that he referred to the elephant. "Elephant be blowed," he said scornfully. "I guess I know what I seen. And I seen what there thing you call a ding, too." Not wishing to prolong a futile discussion, I remained silent. After a moment, he wheeled around, removing his pipe from his hard mouth. "Did you ever hear of Graham's Glacier?" he demanded. "Certainly," I replied, astonished. "It's the southernmost glacier in British America." "Right," he said. "And did you ever hear tell of the Hudson Mountings, mister?" "Yes," I replied. "What's behind 'em?" he snapped out. "Nobody knows," I answered. "They are considered impassable." "They ain't, though," he said doggedly. "I've seen behind 'em." "Really," I replied, tiring of his yarn. "Yas, really," he repeated sullenly. Then he began to fumble and search through the pages of his book until he found what he wanted. "Mister," he said, "just read that out loud, please." The passage he indicated was the famous chapter beginning, "Is the mammoth extinct? Is the ding extinct?" Probably, and yet the aborigines of British America maintain the contrary. Probably both the mammoth and the ding are extinct, but until expeditions have penetrated and explored not only the unknown region in Alaska, but also that hidden tableland beyond the Graham Glacier and the Hudson Mountains, it will not be possible to definitely announce the total extinction of either the mammoth or the ding. When I had read it, slowly, for his benefit, he brought his hand down smartly on one knee and nodded rapidly. "Mister," he said, "that gent knows a thing or two, and don't you forget it." Then he demanded abruptly how I knew he hadn't been behind the Graham Glacier. I explained. "Shucks," he said, "there's a road 5 miles wide inter that there tableland, mister. I ain't been in New York long. I come in her port a week ago on the Arctic Belle whaler. I was in the Hudson Range when that there Graham Glacier bust up." "What?" I exclaimed. "Didn't you know it?" he asked. "Well, maybe it ain't in the papers, but it busted all right. Blowed up by a earthquake and volcano combined. And mister, it was orful. My, how I did run." "Do you mean to tell me that some convulsion of the earth has shattered the Graham Glacier?" I asked. "Convulsions? Yas, and fits too," he said sulkily. "The whole blame thing dropped into a hole. And say, mister, home and mother is good enough for me now." I stared at him stupidly. "Once," he said, "I catched pelts for them sharks at Hudson Bay, like any yaller husky. But the things I seen arter that convulsion fit, the things I seen behind the Hudson Mountings, don't make me hanker arter no life on the prairie wild, let me tell yer. I may be a Mother Carey chicken, but this chicken has got enough." After a long silence, I picked up his book again and pointed at the picture of the mammoth. "What color is it?" I asked. "Kinder red and brown," he answered promptly. "It's woolly, too." Astounded, I pointed to the ding. "One toe," he said quickly. "Makes a noise like a bell when scuttering about." Intensely excited, I laid my hand on his arm. "My society will give you $1,000, I said, if you pilot me inside the Hudson land table and show me either a mammoth or a ding." He looked me calmly in the eye. "Mister," he said slowly, "have you got $1 million for to squander on me?" "No," I said suspiciously. "Because," he went on, "it wouldn't be enough. Home and mother suits me now." He picked up his book and rose. In vain I asked his name and address. In vain I begged him to dine with me, to become my honored guest. "Nit," he said shortly, and shambled off down the path. But I was not going to lose him like that. I rose and deliberately started to stalk him. It was easy. He shuffled along, pulling on his pipe, and I after him. It was growing a little dark, although the sun still reddened the tops of the maples. Afraid of losing him in the failing dusk, I once again approached him and laid my hand upon his ragged sleeve. "Look here," he cried, wheeling about. "I want you to quit follerin' me. Don't I tell you money can't make me go back to them mountings?" And as I attempted to speak, he suddenly tore off his cap and pointed to his head. His hair was white as snow. "That's what come a monkeyin' inter your cursed mountains," he shouted fiercely. "There's things in there what no Christian oughter see. Let me alone or I'll bust yer." He shambled on, doubled fists swinging by his side. The next moment, setting my teeth obstinately, I followed him and caught him by the park gate. At my hail, he whirled around with a snarl, but I grabbed him by the throat and backed him violently against the park wall. "You invaluable ruffian," I said. "Now you listen to me. I live in that big stone building, and I'll give you $1,000 to take me behind the Graham Glacier. Think it over and call on me when you are in a pleasanter frame of mind. If you don't come by noon tomorrow, I'll go to the Graham Glacier without you." He was attempting to kick me all the time, but I managed to avoid him, and when I had finished, I gave him a shove which almost loosened his spinal column. He went reeling out across the sidewalk, and when he had recovered his breath and his balance, he danced with displeasure and displayed a vocabulary that astonished me. However, he kept his distance. As I turned back into the park, satisfied that he would not follow, the first person I saw was the elderly, stony-faced lady of the wisteria arbor advancing on tiptoe. Behind her came the younger lady with cheeks like a rose that had been rained on. Instantly it occurred to me that they had followed us, and at the same moment I knew who the stony-faced lady was. Angry but polite, I lifted my hat and saluted her, and she probably furious at having been caught tiptoeing after me, cut me dead. The younger lady passed me with her face averted, but even in the dark I could see the tip of one little ear turn scarlet. Walking on hurriedly, I entered the administration building and found Professor Lassard of the Reptilian Department preparing to leave. "Don't you do it," I said sharply. "I've got exciting news." "I'm only going to the theater," he replied. "It's a good show, Adam and Eve. There's a snake in it, you know. It's in my line." "I can't help it," I said, and I told him briefly what had occurred in the arbor. "But that's not all," I continued savagely. "Those women followed us, and who do you think one of them turned out to be? Well, it was Professor Small of Barnard College, and I'll bet every pair of boots I own that she starts for the Graham Glacier within a week." "Idiot that I was," I exclaimed, smiting my head with both hands. "I never recognized her until I saw her tiptoeing and craning her neck to listen. Now she knows about the glacier. She heard every word that young ruffian said, and she'll go to the glacier if it's only to forestall me." Professor Lassard looked anxious. He knew that Miss Small, professor of natural history at Barnard College, had long desired an appointment at the Bronx Parks Garden. It was even said that she had a chance of succeeding Professor Farrago as president, but that, of course, must have been a joke. However, she haunted the gardens, annoying the keepers by persistently poking the animals with her umbrella. On one occasion, she sent us word that she desired to enter the tiger's enclosure for the purpose of making experiments in hypnotism. Professor Farrago was absent, but I took it upon myself to send back word that I feared the tigers might injure her. The miserable small boy who took my message informed her that I was afraid she might injure the tigers, and the unpleasant incident almost cost me my position. "I am quite convinced," said I to Professor Lassard, "that Miss Small is perfectly capable of abusing the information she overheard, and of starting herself to explore a region that, by all the laws of decency, justice, and prior claim, belongs to me." "Well," said Lassard with a peculiar laugh, "it's not certain whether you can go at all." "But Professor Farrago will authorize me," I said confidently. "Professor Farrago has resigned," said Lassard. It was a bolt from a clear sky. "Good heavens," I blurted out. "What will become of the rest of us, then?" "I don't know," he replied. "The trustees are holding a meeting over in the administration building to elect a new president for us." "It depends on the new president what becomes of us." "Lassard," I said hoarsely, "you don't suppose that they could possibly elect Miss Small as our president, do you?" He looked at me askance and bit his cigar. "I'd be in a nice position, wouldn't I?" said I anxiously. "The lady would probably make you walk the plank for that tiger business," he replied. "But I didn't do it," I protested with sickly eagerness. "Besides, I explained to her." He said nothing, and I stared at him, appalled by the possibility of reporting to Professor Small for instructions next morning. "See here, Lassard," I said nervously. "I wish you would step over to the administration building and ask the trustees if I may prepare for this expedition. Will you?" He glanced at me sympathetically. It was quite natural for me to wish to secure my position before the new president was elected, especially as there was a chance of the new president being Miss Small. "You are quite right," he said. "The Graham Glacier will be the safest place for you if our next president is to be the Lady of the Tigers." And he started across the park puffing his cigar. I sat down on the doorstep to wait for his return, not at all charmed with the prospect. It made me furious, too, to see my ambition ripped from the front. Let's try that again. It made me furious, too, to see my ambition nipped with the frost of a possible veto from Miss Small. If she is elected, thought I, there is nothing for me but to resign, to avoid the inconvenience of being shown the door. Oh, I wish I had allowed her to hypnotize the tigers. Thoughts of crime flitted through my mind. Miss Small would not remain president, or anything else very long, if she persisted in her desire for the tigers. And then when she called for help, I would pretend not to hear. Aroused from criminal mediation by the return of Professor Lassard, I jumped up and peered into his perplexed eyes. "They've elected a president," he said. but they won't tell us who the president is until tomorrow. You don't think, I stammered. I don't know, but I know this. The new president sanctions the expedition to the Graham Glacier and directs you to choose an assistant and begin preparations for 4 people. Overjoyed, I seized his hand and said, "Hooray," in a voice weak with emotion. "The old dragon isn't elected this time," I said triumphantly. "By the way," he said, "who is the other dragon with her in the park this evening?" I described her in a more modulated voice. "Whew," observed Professor Lassard. "That must be her assistant, Professor Dorothy Van Twiller. She's the prettiest blue stocking in town." With this curious remark, my confrere followed me into my room and wrote down a list of articles I dictated to him. The list included a complete camping equipment for myself and 3 other men. "Am I one of those other men?" inquired Lassard with an unhappy smile. Before I could reply, my door was shoved open and a figure appeared at the threshold, cap in hand. "What do you want?" I asked sternly, but my heart was beating high with triumph. The figure shuffled. Then came a subdued voice. "Mister, I guess I'll go back to the Graham Glacier along with you. I'm Billy Spike, and it kinda scares me to go back to them Hudson Mountains, but somehow, mister, when you choked me and Kinder walked me off on my ear, why, mister, I kinda looked to you like." There was absolute silence for a minute. Then he said, "So if you go, I guess I'll go too, mister." "For $1,000? "For nothin'," he muttered, "or what you like." "All right, Billy," I said briskly. "Just look over those rifles and ammunition and see that everything's sound." He slowly lifted his tough young face and gave me a dog-like glance. They were hard eyes, but there was gratitude in them. "You'll get your throat slit," whispered Lassard. "Not while Billy's with me," I replied cheerfully. Late that night, I was preparing for pleasant dreams. A knock came on my door, and a telegraph messenger handed me a note, which I read, shivering in my bare feet, although the thermometer marked 80 Fahrenheit. "You will immediately leave for the Hudson Mountains via Wellman Bay, Labrador, there to await further instructions. Equipment for yourself and 1 assistant will include following articles." Here began a list of camping utensils, scientific paraphernalia, and provisions. "The steamer Penguin sails at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. Kindly find yourself on board at that hour. Any excuse for not complying with these orders will be accepted as your resignation. Susan Small, President, Bronx Zoological Society." "Lassard!" I shouted, trembling with fury. He appeared at his door, chastely draped in pajamas, and he read the insolent letter with terrified alacrity. "What are you going to do? Resign?" he asked, much frightened. "Do?" I snarled, grinding my teeth. "I'm going. That's what I'm going to do." But you can't get ready and catch that steamer, too," he stammered. He did not know me. And that is the end of chapter 5, and I thought I would be able to get through further, and I'm finding that the words on the screen are blurring. And I cannot read what I cannot read. So I think I'm going to have to end the stream, guys. I really had hoped that I could get through more than 1 chapter, but it does not appear to be that way. So, with that, I will end the stream. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. It was a good night. We watched a movie that sucked. Yeah. Let me see if I can find anybody online that we can go and visit. It was a very good night. Fatal Maxwell, thank you for the bits. That was very sweet of you. Yeah, I like the comfy reading. I think that's a good name for the segment, comfy reading. I do like reading to you guys with the fire going, and yeah, it is nice. let's see who I can send you all off to. Let's see, we have got Bob Ross. EJSA is doing Project Cars 2. Stephen FRA is building his gun run backpack. Sage would like that. I Am Spoon is playing Minecraft, and General Ambrose is doing retro. So, you guys have any preference on who you want to go to? Not really. General Andrews only has 53 people, so we'll go visit him. Not that Bob Ross isn't cool. Alright, come on, dashboard. Alright, so General Andrews, it is. Alright guys, good night. Thanks for joining. Have a good evening. Enjoy your weekend. I hope you can have a good time on your field trip. I hope you're feeling better. Albal. Good night. Sweet dreams for those of you going to sleep, and have fun on your field trip. It's been fun, guys. Thanks a lot.